Anger. It's an emotion we all know, but how well do we really understand it? What causes it? Why do we feel it so intensely? And how can we manage it before it gets out of control? Anger is a natural, instinctive response. It's your brain's way of signaling that something feels wrong or unjust. When we get angry, the part of our brain called the amygdala, which plays a key role in processing emotions, is activated. This little structure deep in the brain is part of what scientists call the limbic system. It's where our fight or flight responses originate. When the amygdala senses a threat or unfairness, it sends a signal to the rest of your body. Get ready. The brain releases chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol, preparing us for action. Your heart beats faster, your muscles tense, your face might flush, and your focus narrows on what's making you angry. But the thing about anger is that it's not always caused by actual danger. While anger can be useful in protecting us from harm, many things in our daily lives trigger this same fight or flight response. Things like getting stuck in traffic, being misunderstood, or feeling like someone has treated us unfairly. Anger can also be a mask for other emotions. Sometimes, underneath anger, there are deeper feelings, like frustration, fear, sadness, or even shame. This is often called the anger iceberg. What we see on the surface is anger, but below it are feelings that may be harder to express. That's why it's important to recognize anger as soon as it starts. Anger is a secondary emotion, meaning it often comes after other emotions have already been triggered. Taking a moment to pause and reflect can help us understand the root cause before we act. When we don't understand our anger, or when we let it build up without addressing it, that's when things can spiral. Uncontrolled anger can hurt relationships, damage our mental and physical health, and lead to decisions we later regret. One important part of managing anger is the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of our brain responsible for thinking, problem-solving, and controlling impulses. While the amygdala tells us to react quickly, the prefrontal cortex helps us slow down and think through the consequences. But here's the tricky part. When anger flares up, the amygdala can take over, and the prefrontal cortex doesn't always get a chance to weigh in. That's why we sometimes say or do things in the heat of the moment that we later wish we hadn't. So, how can we manage our anger before it gets out of control? One way is to focus on the physical symptoms of anger first. When you notice your heart racing, your muscles tensing, or your face getting hot, try these techniques. Deep breathing. Take slow, deep breaths. Focus on breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. This helps calm your body and gives your brain a moment to catch up. Walking away. Sometimes the best thing you can do is remove yourself from the situation for a while. Journaling. Write down how you're feeling. Putting your emotions into words can help you process them and figure out what's really going on beneath the anger. Talking it out. Find a trusted friend or counselor to talk through your feelings. Sometimes just saying it out loud helps. Another key to managing anger is learning to recognize your triggers. We all have certain situations or people that make us more likely to get angry. By identifying those triggers, we can prepare ourselves and learn to respond in a more controlled way. Once you've calmed down, it's easier to communicate your feelings without the anger taking over. You can explain why you're upset in a way that others can understand. This not only helps resolve conflicts, but also prevents anger from causing more harm than good. Remember, anger is a powerful emotion, but it doesn't have to control you. By understanding where anger comes from, both biologically and emotionally, you can learn to manage it before it gets out of hand. Recognize it, reflect on it, and respond in a way that keeps you in control. Find more tips on managing emotions in our next video.